So we get the point that these two equations, the bn1 equal to bn2 and pt1 divided by mu1 is equal to pt2 divided by mu2. Just divide these two parts, you get these things, and after that b1 sin theta 1 divided by mu1 b1 cos theta 1. n1 is cos theta 1, that is cos theta 1, as the angle lies, the theta 1 angle lies on this vector. So this component will be cosine and this component will be sinusoidal. Here we can see bn2 will be cos theta 2, that is b2 cos theta 2, and b2 will be bt2 will be b2 sin theta 2. So after calculating these things, we get this thing, tan theta 1 divided by tan theta 2 equal to mu1 divided by mu2. That's the magnetic boundary condition that we have told you before. The condition of this, we can get the thing that we can get the last derivation out of it. So my dear students, there are a lot of questions out of it. You have to study total conditions, magnetic conditions and electrical conditions, boundary conditions, and find out and derive these kind of things. So thank you very much for being with me. I will give you some lectures on some mathematics later on magnetic boundary conditions, that you can understand better in the field. But previously I have to show you some Ampere's Circuital law and Biot-Savart law to understand it clearly. Now we are heading towards the next part, that is the Ampere's law or Ampere Circuital law. It is a useful law that relates the net magnetic field along a closed loop to the electric current passing through the loop, first discovered by André-Marie Ampère in 1826. André-Marie formulated a law based on Oersted as well as his own experimental studies. This law can be regarded as an alternative expression of Biot-Savart law. I mean, that is an alternative expression of Biot-Savart law. So coming back to the point of Ampere's law, what is Ampere's Circuital law and what is Ampere's law? Ampere's Circuital law states the line integral of the magnetic field. If anything on the magnetic field, the line integral, that is dl, of magnetic over a closed path or loop, if there is a line integral, equals times the total current enclosed by that closed loop. Then we can express like this: mu naught is the permeability of free space, that is the constant value 4 pi 10 to the power minus 15 Newton per ampere square. I is the net current enclosed by the loop 1. Okay, loop of I, that means the loop of the current, that means the equals the times total current enclosed by the closed loop. Now the Ampere's Circuital law. The Ampere Circuital law, as we can see, integral form of Ampere Circuital law, taking the integration in the both parts. As you can see, if it is I means the current and J is the current density. So if you take surface current density, if you take the surface integral on the current, you can see I is equal to surface integral, closed surface integral, that will be closed surface integral. No, this notation is not here, of current density. The area is enclosed area, you can get the total current. After that, just adding the differential form of Ampere's law, just take the differential, that means coefficient in both parts, you can get this thing. So B, that means the differential form, taking the J is the current density, that will be the B cross, I would say B cross, that is the curl of the magnetic field. What is a curl? Because if we have used Stokes theorem here, okay, just taking the Stokes theorem delta in two parts, then adding the Stokes theorem, the surface integral will be demolished, it will be this, and J vector, and just curl, taking the curl vector, okay, both of the sides, this integration will be vanished, and that will be this, and J is the current density. Okay, now there are some applications of Ampere's circuital law. So that is the first: magnetic field inside a long cylindrical conductor. A cylindrical conductor with radius r carries a current I. The current is uniformly distributed over the cross-sectional area of the conductor. Find the magnetic field as a function of the distance r from the conductor axis for the points of both inside and outside of conductor. There is a math where we have to use the Ampere's circuital law to finding out the magnetic field inside a long cylindrical conductor. So did the magnetic field inside a long cylindrical conductor that we have seen here. So from Ampere's law, that is the law I enclosed, that is not ENCL that you have understand. You can remove it if you want to just make it simplification of the equation. So we will take the Ampere's loop in the circle. It is a circle. You can zoom it, then we can understand zoom it. That is the circle, and in this loop circle you get this. You can take the current enclosed in the path, and after that you will take the Ampere loop to be a circle, hence the points inside the conductor, and the Ampere loop will be just make it to the zoom off now, will be a circle with radius r. If r is less than r means the bigger r is the total radius and the smaller r is the interim radius. So inside the conductor the Ampere's loop will be a circle with radius r, and r is less than r. The current enclosed will be this, the B cross twice by r. Twice by r means the circumference of a circle. The circumference of the circle is twice by r. Okay, I pi r square, that is smaller r, it's a bigger r. So you can get this, that is the total magnetic field of it. For points outside the conductor, the Ampere loop will be a circle of radius r, where r is greater than r, then it will be this, the answer will be that. So that is to finding out the magnetic field inside a long cylindrical conductor. If you find out if you just want to find out a magnetic field of a solenoid, you can also use this equation. You can also find out the equation to it too. Okay, the central part of a solenoid, all the things will be adjoining, and you get this equation at last. And also the magnetic field of a toroidal solenoid, and some limitations are also there. The limitations of Ampere's law is that it is valid only for steady current. The conventional form of Ampere's circuital law was pointed out by Maxwell. He introduced the concept of displacement currents. Displacement current and these currents associated with time varying electric fields to generalize Ampere's circuital law to even more non-steady currents. Okay. Thank you very much for being with me. I hope you understand that is a very serious part of Ampere's circuital law, and you will study and understand it properly on your own self-study. Thank you very much for being with me.